everybody? Welcome to the SC.Y podcast, episode number 165. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Follow me at the SC.Y on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music, and also check out at the SC.Y on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And without further ado, let's get this shit started. Episode number 165, curtains up on the hiatus. 30 for 30 in 30. That's right, boys and girls. You might be asking yourselves, did you get COVID-19? No, motherfucker, I'm healthy as can be. Which is basically bang average. Nothing too impressive, but still alive. Just barely. And, the thing is, I'm not dead. So that has to count for something. That does. And this hiatus for the podcast, specifically, was something that I guess, within the first 2 weeks, I thought, I'm going to come back to it. And it just never came to fruition. So here we are, 2 months later, since episode number 164, just explaining to y'all what the fuck has been going down. So again, you might be asking yourselves, where have you been? Just been holed up in the house for the last 2 months or so. Occasionally popping outside once in a while, but mainly staying indoors. Because mi casa es mi casa and no one else's. So don't fucking come over without asking. All right, that's always the key with anything I do in the house. Just ask. Just ask first. God damn, man. Some people have such a fucking hard time wrapping their head around that shit. It's absolutely astounding, but even a dumbass like me can get shit once in a while, so hey. And this dumbass has been, holed up in his house, but he's been doing shit. Well, what the fuck have you been up to, you might be asking? Well, sit down, boys and girls, and let me regale you the stories of my quarantine and self-imposed exile from society. Ha ha! That's right! I did it myself! Government didn't tell me to stay home. Well, technically they did, but if you've already been doing that for a good chunk of 2020, what the fuck is the difference, right? But here's the thing. One of the main things I've been doing is binging on television shows, primarily rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. Holy fucking crap, man. If you haven't checked the series out already, please do. It is so good. The writing, the music, the fucking characters, the animation, story. Dude, it's fucking perfect. So if you haven't watched it and you have nothing else to do for, it was a total of 12 hours, the entire show. You got 20 episodes per season, 20 minutes. I'm not gonna do math here because I fucking suck at doing calculations in my head. But you're Asian! That's a stereotype! Don't put stereotypes on me. I can't live up to that shit. So, if you got the time, watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is fucking brilliant. And I know one of these episodes, I'm definitely gonna talk about it, so do your homework, kids. And here's the other thing. Other than Avatar, ESPN has been providing some great documentaries. Obviously, guys, we've seen The Last Dance, and Lance Part 2 just aired yesterday. I'm actually going to have to go watch it a little bit later. But sports replays have been morbidly depressing to watch as of late. You got the documentaries, but, once you put the replay in there, it just puts you back down to very depressing mood. And so shout out to the KBO, the Bundesliga, and the UFC for being alive. I know there's plenty of other fucking leagues out there. I know the K-League's still alive. I want to say the Norwegian Soccer League. Is that still alive and going? I'm not sure if Liga MX is still around. But, there are plenty of leagues right now, sports ball leagues right now just going on. And shout out to y'all for getting it going. And yeah, I know there's going to be plenty of people just talking about how it's a health crisis. You can't be doing them to the players. But it's a fucking live sports ball. Like, come on, man. Come on. Sports ball missing from our lives. It's pretty evident that we need some sort of distraction. Pretty clear. And so, yeah, ESPN, I think, has been doing a pretty damn good job. And the other thing that I just started, preoccupying my time with in terms of watching is this new anime. Well, it's not a new anime. Well, it was a newly introduced anime to me called Konosuba. Shout out to Maesters Hugo and Mike, and it's a fucking bloody brilliant anime. I haven't fucked with an anime series in, I want to say a couple of months, to be fair. Like, it's been a couple of months since I've had a good anime series to just binge and get into. So it's a nice refresher, and it's fucking hilarious to boot. And, television has been a good chunk of what we've been doing here. and what I mean when I say what we've been doing here is what I've been doing holed up in my fucking house for about 2 months now. And of course, it's not just the fucking television. It's the goddamn video games. Playing video games, man. A solid rotation of 2K20, FIFA 20, NHL 20, Sims 4, and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, we have a little bit of Kingdom of Amalur in the mix now because of Konosuba and the way, RPG just kind of flashed in my mind. But this little hobby of playing video games has cost me a couple of weeks and days in a fucking flash, all right? And I'm not exaggerating when I say weeks and days just go by in a flash. I thought, okay, cool, it's April fucking 5th. And then I look at the calendar and realize, oh shit, it's actually April 20th. Puff, 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 woo. But the reality of these games, and let me break down why I get so sucked into them. When you're 5 seasons deep in one of the sports ball titles, creating a damn dynasty, or playing a couple of generations in Sims, for superior genetic offsprings, time becomes an illusion. And you drift into virtual reality. You leave reality, you burst into virtual reality. That's what video games do, man. That's what video games do. When you're just playing these video games on hours on hours and hours on hours and hours on end, you need fuel. Right? I'm a fat piece of shit. I'm gonna fucking lift my goddamn self with a little belly action here for the camera, but I'm a fat piece of shit. I eat like a goddamn maniac, and good lord, being an impulsive glutton doesn't help when you're socially isolated for most and all people on average of 2 to 4 days. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating when I say that either. I really don't see anybody 2 to 4 days on average, and it's not a boast thing, but it's one of those things where you definitely sense that social interaction is a vital necessity in human life, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. And what's great at being what it is Uber Eats leave at door option. And I'll tell you what, this leave at door option from Uber Eats has been the greatest revelation for my socially awkward ass. Okay? Yeah, motherfuckers, there's the potential for the disease to be carried through, but goddamn, staying isolated. Let me have my motherfucking food. And really, man, I mean, it did get me ballooned up. I'm still ballooned up. I mean, you can see the little gecko tits going on here on the video portion of this podcast. If you're listening to the audio, listen. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see gecko titties just perched down there. And when you get ballooned up, kids, when you get ballooned up, you can't blame anybody but yourself. And that's the thing. I blame no one but myself for gaining all that fucking pounds. Just inflating with fat and carbs, just all this shit going down your mouth. And you can't be that self-delusional fatty scapegoating everybody else. Oh, it's that Victoria's Secret model. Oh, it's social media. Oh, it's TikTok. No, you're just a fat ass. Get to work. And so to compensate with all this degenerative, socially isolated activities, right? I work out at the garage. It's very simple. And oh boy, I know people call me crazy when I talk about this shit, but when I work out in the garage, and I live here in Las Vegas, it is such a fun fucking time. Okay? So imagine this. It's 100 plus degrees outside. Sweaters have to be worn. A beanie. Ankle and body weights. A couple of light dumbbells. A little kettlebell. And you gotta make do with what you can. You gotta work out your body. You gotta figure shit out. And figuring that out, that process of, exercising, it's, I don't know. It's something just so fucking invigorating for me that I find myself doing it more and more, despite the fact that now, in Las Vegas now, as of June 1st, you can go to the gym in Las Vegas, but to be really fair, I would rather not, since the city just opened up itself for majority of their popular businesses. I mean, your casinos are going to open this week. Your fucking, I don't know, all your retail, fucking restaurants, bars, all them shits open on Friday and Saturday. But yeah, I'm giving myself a bit of a fucking cushion before going out into the public in that sense, right? Just hanging out by yourself, having a couple drinks, and you're lonesome, looking all weird. But yeah, give me about 7 to 10 days, realistically. No lie, I no. You sound like one of those fucking dude. I'm not gonna fucking get into some political bullshit about COVID-19. You're all fucking morons. But I do share that sentiment about everything and everyone. So if you're telling me right now, oh, you just hate on these people. No. Equal opportunity hater. I hate on everything. And that helps me just kind of focus my shit. And obviously, being in that garage gym, that shit helps me focus. That shit balances me out. And it's almost equivalent to a religious experience when I'm in the garage working out. And like I said, fat guy, nothing to fucking boast about, kids. But the mentality and really the, because mindset that you have to just walk in with is you work your way to godhood in this specific religion. And as cheesy and weird as that sounds, that's how I fucking motivate myself to get shit like this done 4 to 6 days a week. And definitely something we can delve into in a future episode, kids. Talking about my weird fatness and my equally weird and masochistic way to compensate for my fat assery, which, man, science is a bitch. Science is a bitch. But through science, we get good stuff. And I'm obviously the other fucking thing I've been doing as just a dude is watching porn. And that one is kind of self-explanatory. You don't really need to get into details with that. I'd rather not. It's fucking weird. Well, talking about porn isn't weird. Just the act of like me watching porn and like what I'm actually doing with this shit. Like that I don't know. That's just fucking weird. So yeah, it's June 1st, motherfuckers. It's June 1st. And I come back to you now at the turn of the tide. come. Because as we all know, no, boys and girls, a wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he needs to. So, why come back June 1st? Why all this hoopla and bullshit? I'll explain a lot of this shit now. With the initial question of what the fuck is 30 for 30 and 30? 30 episodes for 30 minutes in 30 days. And that's literally what you think it is. It's 30 episodes in 30 minutes in 30 days. Now, to be fair though, to be really fair though, the 30 minutes may vary, plus and minus 5 minutes, más o menos, right? Más o menos 5 minutes. Obviously, depending on the topic in my brain. As much as I can just write out a script, there's only so many things I could talk about on a given day, or I guess, how much energy I got for a certain topic or certain thing. But I had to sit down the last few weeks and really ask myself, what's the plan moving forward with the podcast? And it was a question that I guess for 2 months have been really just pushing off. And I didn't want to answer that question. I didn't want to, I suppose, get the, honest, truthful, answers that I know in my head of you're just giving up. you're just pussying out. And I think that kind of downtrodden mindset just had to really made me think there, right? It really had to just get down to that low point of, this is fucking worthless, dude. Like, you are doing nothing. Go fuck yourself. It's a lot of self-saboteur shit. Always for me personally, always for me with whatever goes on, it's usually a self-saboteur incident. And really, I have been bullshitting this podcast and not giving enough or any energy, as evident with the 2-month hiatus. But yeah, it came and dawned on me that, man, I want to work getting better at it, step by step, day by day. Hence 30 for 30 and 30. And listen, June seems like the perfect month to start this shit. It really does. Because let's be really fair. 2020 has been a fucking year. 2020 has been a fucking year. Okay, so we have what? January, potential World War III. Kobe Bryant died. Holy shit. Well, Corona was technically February. Sports completely shutting down was March. I think April was May was Murder Hornets. I don't know about April. Like there are so many fucking bullshit epic meme proportion fucking events happening in this real world that I feel like with all that shit out of the way, right? What's the worst that could happen? But I feel like this is the perfect time to come back. I feel like this, for me personally, is the time we can assess things from the last few months. We can think about things and analyze things. And what happens, nowadays is people don't fucking sit back and think. They just don't. I'm an idiot. And I try to do that as much as I can. And it's hard. I'm not going to fucking lie about that shit. It's hard. It's hard to just fucking sit down and think and not get overly emotional about some shit. That goes with any fucking issue. And yeah, if God, eventually we are going to talk about George Floyd, the fucking riots everywhere in the U.S., but we just hold on to that like a fart for a minute, man. All right, just hold on to that shit. Because this year has just been unreal. I think as much as people say this year has been terrible, I think this has been possibly one of the greatest fucking years in human history. You also forget that a potential parallel universe is discovered. SpaceX, a space program that cost a fraction of what NASA does to fucking send a man to space, launched. And they got to the International Space Station yesterday. Holy fuck, dude. Life is weird right now. 2020 is weird, but it is just so full of memes and greatness. So I had to come back. I couldn't just fucking sit back and just watch and observe. And so the last few weeks, it really has been the hard questions for me with the podcast, right? And I think for me, what's the most difficult part about writing an episode, essentially, is I feel that in my irrational way of doing things, if I don't have it a certain way and I don't have it at a certain time at a specific place and yada, 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 all this unnecessary micro detail bullshit, that it impedes me to keep going. And honestly, it took a while to just kind of buckle down on this shit. But the one thing with the podcast that I will flat out let you guys know right now is moving forward, the podcast will not have the same format as the previous renditions. Well, at least with the next 30, but that will probably transition into just something new overall. But I plan on talking about a handful of things I want for the day for 30 minutes. And that's about it. Weekly writings, weekly film, weekly album will not be done in the conventional sense anymore. So in the previous, episodes of the SoundCloud podcast, I would go ahead and the format is just very simple, but at the same time, very fucking choppy. You got your intro, your topic of the week, all the sports ball shit, Arsenal, soccer, Seahawks, NFL, son of a bitch, Lakers, NBA, Vegas Golden Knights, NHL, Los Angeles Dodgers, and MLB. Then you follow that up with weekly writing, weekly film, weekly album, and miscellaneous shit all in between. So what I found doing that for over 2 or so years, that specific format, it's draining. It is exhausting. I cannot even churn out an episode every week. I mean, that format, I feel like it's its own self-saboteur mechanism in my mind. So yeah, I wanted to just kind of come back with trimming the fat on the meat, so to speak, and give you what I want to talk about on a day-to-day basis. And that's redundant. I know, motherfucker. I know. I just want to push that point and make sure it's in your head. Because most of you motherfuckers don't listen. So, yeah. It should be a good time, though, kids. It should be a great time. June, I feel, holds a lot of fun surprises. A lot of fun surprises. So, in tandem with the audio version of this podcast, I will be uploading the video version of the podcast on YouTube the next day. So, you can see the space and just kind of nitpick it and jerk off if you want to. I mean, listen, man, if you jerk off to me, just don't tell me. Okay, that's really it. I just never want to know that. I don't. I mean, male or female, it just sounds awkward. I don't know. Like I fucking whack off to you, dude. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's you do your business, but you don't need to tell me that shit, dude. You don't. So yeah, it'll be the same fucking thing, the podcast, but video format instead of audio on the YouTube. Verdad? Everybody understands? Comprende? Cool. And really, the only question that remains, right? Will you actually be consistent and stick to your word and do the fucking podcast 30 for 30 and 30? 30 episodes in 30 days for 30 minutes for 30. God damn it. Brain fucking plops out. But yeah, I'm gonna fucking try. I'm gonna fucking try to goddamn be consistent at this point. I mean, holy shit. All I can try to do right now is just write every day. Record an episode every day. And push that shit out. And eventually, you know, kind of like an exercise or, I don't know, any kind of skill requiring thing, you work on the shit day to day to day and day, you know, every fucking day, you'll get better. And I think for me personally, it's never been about the numbers. Nowadays, you know, in recent years, at least the last year or two, with all this shit, YouTube, SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter, any of this shit, I'm not doing it for numbers. I'm not doing it for views. I'm not doing it for any of that shit. I am doing this so I can put my opinions out there. I could put a piece of my soul out there in the world. And I'm not going to filter myself. Well, obviously, you know, there's certain things I'm not going to say, right? Racial slurs, because what the fuck? That's just kind of fucking fucked up, right? But it's one of those things now where I feel like I said, it's almost like an exercise. It's about discipline. It's about trusting yourself in a sense of, if you put in the work, you're going to get better. And honestly, you know, after about a 2-month period where I'm just being a piece of shit, not really thinking about any of that, just in that, you know, metapod cocoon status, this is refreshing. This is refreshing. And I'm hoping, you know, that consistency and stick-to-itiveness, you know, is there all throughout the next 29 days. So yeah, man, I'll also invite you to the eventual fucking mid-June breakdown, potentially mental or emotional breakdown, where, yeah, I just lose my fucking mind. But no, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Because ultimately, I am back. Return of the Mac. Here it is. You know that I'll be back. Well, I am back. So, guys, next episode on the fucking SC.Y podcast. Oh my god, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, kids. I have been fucking nervous to do this episode. I was goddamn nervous to record. It felt like the very first time that I put on a microphone and recorded for the very first episode of the SC.Y podcast. Feels like the very first time. And it really does feel like that. It's a new level of excitement. It's this renewed sense of fear and joy and a little horniness. So tune in tomorrow for terrible but titillating tantrums, tickled through ticked off vibes. Content renaissance, my friends. Content renaissance. And I'm here to provide it for you. I am here to provide it with my gecko titties, my little fucking rolled up burrito stomach, and my indelible sense of humor. You're welcome, bitches. You got crazier since the fucking hiatus. Yeah. It be like that sometimes. It is what it is. So, all right, motherfuckers. I appreciate you dropping by this episode. Follow me at the SC.Y on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music. And also check out at the SC.Y on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Until next time, kids, fuck off. And by next time, I mean tomorrow. So stay tuned. Whether it's the fucking audio or the video podcast, I appreciate the fuck out of you. I'm gonna tickle your little goddamn nipples and just nasty shit. So, yeah. Till next time, fuck off.